Number one in the East, Game 3. Series tied up at a game apiece. Paolo Banchero and Cade Cunningham to the rack. And then Jalen Suggs.
I'll step you back.
4-3. 61-54, your halftime score. Orlando on top. Watch Banchero again. He had 25, 12, and 9.
Well, he ain't going to dunk it, though. Yes, he is.
Bain loses the handle, recovers, and drains the corner three.
What, man? You just always wonder about the Pistons' ability to score.
Bain had 25 on the night. Orlando up 8 after 3.
Oh, man.
The lead grew to 17 at one point in the fourth quarter. And right here, when Banchero drove again, they led by 15 with 7.5 minutes to play. But Detroit goes 11-0. Extended to 20-5 with their run. Cunningham.
Ooh, nice move.
27 and 9, but also turned the ball over 9 times today.
Wow,
and the Pistons tie things up there at 104.
This is the difference in these teams to me. They got more guys that can score.
Zavagna, boy.
It was a 9-0 finish to this game for Orlando. And how about this last one from Banchero? Take a gander at this three-pointer. Off the rim, and down it goes. Shades of Tyrese Halliburton in the Minnesota-New York series last year. The Magic had taken a 2-1 lead over the Pistons, 113 to 105. These two teams tied for the most clutch wins this season. Orlando gets it today, winning by 8. This game demanding some post-game yakety-yak.
You know, they tie it up, and we didn't rattle with 3-something minutes to go. Our ability to stay the course, execute, obviously had to make a couple big shots down the stretch, but it was more about the stops. It was our defense, our composure, our communication. All those little things within the game are so important.
Having been in this position before is really important. Having experience, understanding runs of the game are going to happen, and just being as consistent as possible.
We got a lot of respect for those guys over there, but we know how we stack up. We know what we got in this locker room, and so we don't fear them. But we got a lot of respect, and we just going to have to bring it on Monday.
And Shaq points out the turnover I just committed. Indiana, New York, obviously, not Minnesota, New York.
Always
last
got
year
your back,
with Tyrese Halliburton. So let's take a look at those two shots, as a matter of fact. The Banchero shot here and the Halliburton shot from last year. And
you know what's funny about this shot right here, Ernie? Everybody thought it was a 3, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it turned out to be a 2, and they went to overtime. But man, that thing clearing the shot clock. And so you see Banchero today, Halliburton last year, and each gets the bounce.
Magnets on the rims.
Hey, how much trouble are your #1 seed Pistons in?
I might cry when I get in the car. I'm so upset about the game. But in all honesty, I feel like this is going to be a tough matchup up front anyway. And 2 names that we didn't show in the highlights have been very pivotal in this series. One is Jalen Duren.
He's struggling.
Who's been really struggling offensively, fouled out today. And on the other side, Wendell Carter Jr.
Yes, sir.
And Angel Reese, your little sister, Shaq, is on IG calculating Wendell Carter catching lobs on Duren, and now these things are trending, right? But if you look at the numbers, though, in game 1, he has 17, 5, and 7, and today he had 14 and 7. Like, he's really playing
14
well.
and 17.
Yeah, 14 and 7. So he's playing really well. Bain, it seems like all of their guys have gotten going. I still feel like we're going to win the series as the #1 seed. I have confidence in JB and the adjustments, but you got to give Orlando a lot of credit.
You know, me and Chuck, we had a heated discussion a couple weeks ago. He was talking about certain guys have to play well to win a championship. I agree. He doesn't agree, but if you're Cage, you can't go 8 for 23, and if you're Duren, you can't go 3 for 10. Because when you play great and the others play okay, you have a chance to win. But when you play awful and then the others play okay, you're not going to have a chance to win, especially if you're on the road. So, those guys definitely need to pick it up. So, the next game, got to get it.
And Chuck, look, to your credit, you said, hey, this Orlando Detroit is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, because when I looked at Detroit, I says, okay, this is when Shaq got that. I said, well, K's going to get me a bunch of points. And Durham, I'm surprised he's struggling. I said, he's going to get me 20. I said, who's the 3rd and 4th scorers on the Pistons. I said, guys going to have to step up and get me 20, 20, 20, something like that. Because when you put up there today, you put those stats up there, you know, we know Banchero's going to get me numbers. We know Bang going to get me numbers. But when you getting Suggs,
and
Wagner, Wendell
Carter,
like, your two stars, I am shocked because I'm a big Duren fan. I am shocked because he's been in single digits 2 out of 3 games. Because I think game 1, he only had like 6 points. Like, he only had like 3 or 4 shots.
8 and 7 on 3 or 4.
But he's got to get, and when you're, he's got to be just like, I'm going to be a rebounding fool offensively and defensively. Because, and then this summer, he's going to have to get in the gym and work on his offensive skills. Because right now, most of his game is dictated by on lobs or passes from Cade. But he's an all-star. I think he'll be a hell of a player. But this is a wake-up call for him. You know, I got to get in the gym and work on my offensive game.
Did get 23 out of Tobias Harris today, but not enough for Detroit. They fall 113-105. Game 4 in that series is Monday in Orlando. Meantime, Game 3, the Valley of the Sun.
I watched this game. This is definitely 1, 2, 3 Cancun.
I thought you might be splitting time with hockey on this one.
1, 2, 3 leg havasu.
That's right. Yeah, Ernie, that's a good thing.
Shea had himself a game today, by the way. He was 15 for 18.
Wow. Efficiency, and one of the things I love about his game, while we see him knocking down the 3 right there, he's not a volume 3 shooter.
No.
He gets underneath the free throw line, gets to his spots, and he's very efficient, and he drops it off to teammates to make them better as well.
Dylan Brooks did have 33 for Phoenix today.
I love Dylan Brooks. He's one of my favorite players, but man, this guy was just killing them today, like Roberto Flack said, killing them softly.
+9 at the half was OKC. Big to big.
Man, these big to big alive. Chet said it the other night we interviewed him. They're terrific at that.
Jalen Williams from SGA. Just an 8-point game going to the 4th.
And this without their second All-Star, J-Dub.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jalen wrote. Excellent point. SGA there.
And that's the good thing about it, too. That's going to give him more time. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man.
Stop stealing that.
Oh, man. Give it here. Don't say nothing.
42 points on 15 of 18 shooting.
Turnover both shoulders, these.
9th time this season that SGA has gone for at least 40, and they win at 121-109 points in the paint in that game, 50-30, and OKC has won 11 straight first-round games.
Well, you know how many?
11.
Well, you go ahead and put 12 in.
Yeah, we'll wait until Monday.
This is 1, 2, 3 Cancun.
But here's what they were saying after the game.
Give him credit. First, 42 points on 18 shots. We tried different matchups, tried to take it out of his hands. He got to the area where it's a little hard to take it out of his hands when he just rises up over us. He had us spinning. He had us spinning tonight.
I'm very fortunate to be in this position, but regardless of who's out there, I get to go out there and play my game. That's just like the role I have on this team. And my coaches and teammates do a really good job of like letting me be in my space. I try not to like press more or press less, just like let the game tell me what to do.
He's starting to think the game a little more rather than just use his, amazing athletic ability and skill to get places. And once you mentally can evaluate, organize, and then execute, that's when you really, get to another level.
What are the 1 or 2 things that enabled him tonight to do what he did?
He's efficient, and I got him game 4.
121-109. I got him in game 4.
You know what I love
in game 1?
Hey, listen, we had this conversation. Shaq was talking about. I'm like, yo, man, this dude, his confidence level, he's gonna get his shots. And I feel bad my sons are gonna get swept. I mean, OKC, man, they're the deepest team in the league. Sam Presti, I always thought Masai Ujiri was the best GM and R.C. Buford, but Sam Presti, in my opinion, has become the best GM. Like, we know about SGA. He made that trade. Holmgren was a high draft pick. The other Jalen Williams was a high draft pick. But the rest of those guys, like, they must have one of the best scouting departments because they just roll guys out there.
Yeah,
they don't miss a beat.
And what I love about this team the most, if you know anything about sports, the more together you are, the higher the probability of you winning the championship. These guys are so together. They don't argue. They don't say, hey, take a bad shot. They don't make faces. Shea swings the ball. The other guys have the opportunity to also play their game and take shots, and these guys are just two together. Even when, a couple guys go out, the culture, that Sam Presti has built, they just keep them together, and they have a high chance of winning this thing again this year.
How important is the feeling now when you're up 3-0? This has got to end Monday, and we can rest up, and we got Jalen Williams still out. How important is that?
Well, when you have the blueprint of winning the championship, of course they are the champions. They know what they have to do, so they know they cannot mess around with the Suns. They know they can't go back and forth with Dylan, and he's probably going to start the game and try to do some antics. Continue to play the game, continue to put pressure, and continue to play defense. Like, I've never seen, a Devin Booker lose the ball so many times like that. So, OKC's defense is crushing.
I'll give you the final word, Jalen. Your takeaway on a 3-0 series lead.
And they are very deep, and I agree about Sam Presti and their strength in numbers, but this is a celebration of SGA, how he just be quietly killing these guys. And he doesn't celebrate after every shot. To your point, he's locked in with his teammates. They started this a couple of years ago. It's the camaraderie of a college team in a lot of ways, and it's really great to watch.
121-109, that's your final score from the Valley of the Sun in a 3-0 series lead.
Get out there, Charles.